Hi, Meenakshi ji.
Hi,
Namaste.
Jaya.
Such an honor to have you. I have been seeing your videos, and Uzwala has been talking about you, and knowing you is such a beautiful feeling. And seeing you here, and as always, you're looking so charming and so wonderful. Thank you for being with me.
So humble, Jaya. So humble. Such a great poet and writer. Talking to me is such a great honor for me, Namma.
You wear so many feathers in your cap, Meenamma. And you know what? I'm feeling very nice and comfortable and cute to talk to you as Meenamma. Meenakshi and Meenamma. And we would like to have to know the journey from Meenakshi to Meenamma today.
Yeah, Meenakshi is a middle class, middle aged woman who refuses to grow old with time. She's somebody who's always wanting to keep the spark alive in herself. And so, as life moved on for her, she took up the challenges of a modern world. So, the Meenamma that you would meet today is somebody who brings experiences of more than 30, 40 years from the corporate world, but that doesn't stop her from telling her own story. All of us, man has always been a storyteller, right from caveman, they used to write on the walls. And today we write on LED boards and, digital media. So Meenamma is this woman who refuses to give up. I think I stand for most of the women in my generation.
Great. And from being a CEO of one of the finest and one of the oldest event on the digital platform, like I would like to know everything because you have been so inspiring in many ways, Minamma. So many things you have done in your life and in one life. So how this Meenamma, the storyteller, has come into the limelight and so beautiful.
Yeah, we started small and still remain small because I always feel I'm still on the starting line. But the things that I've done in my life, I'm an ordinary woman with an extraordinary life story. God has been kind. I have been chosen. And time and again, luck has favored this simple woman. And I've done things that have been out of the box and a little ahead of my time. And I still remember I was a stammering child when I was small. And an accidental interaction with Mr. Amin Sayani changed my life forever. And my Guruji made me a national anchor. At the age of 13, I spoke for the first time on stage, and my parents were so happy. Coming to think of it, I stopped stammering down the line, and today I live by anchoring. I work with prime ministers, presidents of India, chief ministers, and it's wonderful that you could turn around your disability, something that I learned very early in life. So, if there is something that is pulling you down, if there is something that an opportunity is not coming to you, create your road and you will reach that opportunity. You will learn to fly away from the disability, is my learning of life. I guess at every stage, whether it was playing for the country, India, or giving running commentary and getting into the Limca book, or starting one of the first event management companies in India at a time. We had a 30-year-old footprint, Razzmatazz. At a time when people did not know what events was, here I was just back from, my PhD in parasitology, being one of the first women scientists on the Indian Antarctic mission. I gave it all up and started this lovely company because I had a choice of rocking my cradles and working from my home. So it's been nice. I feel I have a story at every stage. Jaya, life is always like that. The book is always empty. You have the pen in your hand and you write your story. And the only true story you can say is the story of your life. So Meenamma was also born out of this necessity. After you finish your entire life and career, what do you do next? You don't retire. You get a new avatar of yourself and you become somebody else. Today I'm Amma. Amma means mother.
So beautiful and so inspiring once again. And as I was going through your video, I have come across with some subjects that you've chosen, and they are so interesting. And how do you choose Can you hear me?
Yes, Jaya. Yes.
Yeah.
So you were asking me about my topics and how I choose
Yeah,
them.
your subjects, your topic.
See, when I started Meet Meenamma, I had only one thing in mind. I have a story to tell. I need somebody to listen to me. I need to document it forever. So I took down a pen and paper and I wrote down things that interested me. Stuff like mysteries of the world, stuff like inspirational people, stuff like how to do it. So these were the kind of thing. And being a scientist, I want to compile my ideas and share it with the fraternity, with people in the world, and that's how it started. So my first season was about mysteries of the world because there have been these fabulous mysteries, and my brother Gautam and I used to read this book of Eric von Daniken, and as children we were so smitten by the fact that there were so many mysteries that man did not know about, and people were still speculating. And it took me so many years and to come out of my career and actually go back to my childhood. And I still remember, my brothers, three of them and me, we used to read vociferously and we wanted to know. So why not share it? These are topics. If the four of us wanted to know, the world would want to know. So the first series was about the mysteries. And I even gave a small foresight on or a prediction for the Malaysian Airlines MH370. I don't know whether any of you all have watched my first episode, but it was so beautifully created by my team. The story was ours, and it's a live, natural, normal story with its truth. The whole world knew the truth, but there were some things in my story that were different. And then the film came after that. We were so lucky, and immediately the traction increased on MH370, and Meenamma found so many people asking so many more questions. So that started me on thinking that I have to reach popular topics and topics which are different from the normal stream. When I did the Inspiring Indians, I actually wrote down names of people whom I had worked with, in the industry. A.R. Rahman, a brother indeed. I used to call him Dilip. How many people can tell that story? I thought it's better for me to tell this story of this great Mozart of India. And Sabya Sachi, I knew him as Pepsi. I didn't even know his real name. He worked with us. So, what a wonderful story. He's today an international icon. So, there were people like this whom I really admire and inspired. Mr. Kalam, Abdul Kalam ji, the wonderful president, one of the best presidents of our country. I stood by him some events and I still remember talking to him on the telephone. So, these are people that they're not ordinary. The world might know so much about them, but I knew that little more. So I thought, these are the stories. These inspire me to talk about them. And my stories are different. Do visit my episodes and let me know if you found them different.
Absolutely. And I have seen that the story about the airplane that you're talking about, Maldives, no, Mauritius,
Malaysian Airlines,
Malaysian
MH370.
Airlines. Yes, I have seen that one. And it was very interesting. What happens is when once you start and then you continue watching and then your interest is on, that is when we realize that the storyteller is amazing, not only the subject but the teller as well. And that is what it is. And whenever you look fantastic and so confident that you have created a niche for yourself when it comes to storytelling in India, because your research work is amazing. So tell me something about your team and then how do you do the research work? Because in the internet, it's not very easy to get the authentic, information. So how do you, where you collect your information from? How do you do the research work?
Yeah, actually, this is a very good question because many people think that you take somebody's work already, copy paste, and your deed is done. But it's not that easy. I spend almost 7 days to 10 days on getting the sketch of my episodes. So what I have done is I've actually spoken to authentic people in the field. For example, for MH370, I spoke to a pilot from Malaysia and to some families of people who were lost in Malaysian Airlines crash. And I actually got the pulse of what I should take. My course of the flight was different. The mystery, and I even gave a date to say that it was just an instinct that December 26th, 2023, something will come up to, solve this mystery. I don't know how many of you noticed, On December 26th last year, 2023, there was a notification that somebody had found proof that the pilot could have been at fault. So you see, when you start thinking and you start working with families, it's holistic. Your research takes you to the right path. And I research very, very extensively, being the scientist that I am. It's not just one article. I go to Discover India. I go to different topics, but people who are actually historians and people who have actually experienced it. So it is not easy, Jaya, but I love doing it because I'm learning in the process. I learn new things every day, and this research is keeping the scientist alive in me. I love it.
So, do you think that so many elements you have in you, so many uh, feathers you have in your cap, that helps you come to this level that your story becomes so popular and you bring out the best from what you have chosen to?
Jaya, I think sincerely, every role of your life, every stage of your life uh, will ask you to resurrect yourself into a new avatar, a new version of yourself. So when I was in the cricket field or the handball field playing for India, I was a strong, physically strong woman, a proud Indian. The next stage, I became a scientist. I knew how to compile my ideas. I knew how to research, search for something that is lost. I learned to put my ideas together and catalog them. I think that skill is the most important skill when you want to tell your story. And if it's a real story, and the whole world knows that there are fakes around giving fake stories, fake promises. So you have a lot of people judging you. So at this time, if a middle-aged woman gives the wrong facts, it's very, very wrong. So I think at every stage, I had a role that made me better version of myself. And I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but the stage, my anchoring skills makes me talk. And I just love talking to you guys because I know I might say the wrong thing sometimes, but at the most times I'm right and I speak the right words, right? आपका क्या
Yes,
विचार है?
बिल्कुल 100% सही है विचार. और मैं तो आई एम फॉलिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ वर्ड्स टू डिस्क्राइब Minamma, in fact. There's so many aspects of your personality are just crossing my minds. And I feel that from a sportsman to a corporate head, and now the storytelling, the how you have chosen to be a storyteller. Like in so many, you have so many things to do in life. Why you have chosen your medium to express yourself, your expressions, your stories as a storyteller only?
Yeah, it is very important and a time of life where we have to build a personal brand. We might have built companies, we might have created niches, we might have had patents, but who are you is the question now. So before you expire and disappear from planet Earth, who are you has to be established. And I think the pre-COVID, COVID, post-COVID scenario brought out the digital age to our front. My whole generation is very not at all digital savvy, but we learned that to be alive and relevant, I have to be on the digital space. And that is why I
Yes.
decided that, come what may, I will be on the digital space and run the rat race with all those wonderful young people who are there. There are so many good influencers, good speakers, good storytellers, but I will also run with them and I will try my best to be a good version of the digital space. Do you know we are now connected on YouTube? YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google. Can you believe there are, after Google, people come to YouTube for information. Also, every month, more than 1 billion or more than that videos are made in the YouTube. So what does it tell you? It tells you that the classroom aside, we learned all this in class, right? Today the principal, the university has changed, and YouTube and Google are going to be dominating the mind space, the intelligence space, and digital media is so relevant. So you and I better get into it and do a good job.
Absolutely. And what with what clarity of mind that you have come here in this space.
Mhm.
Hats off to you, Meenamma, for that.
Thank you, dear.
Tell me something about what kind of challenges you faced while
As a
while
content
creating the
creator,
videos. Yeah, while
uh,
creating the videos, while choosing the subjects, and again building your character.
everybody was a little apprehensive, especially the younger people in my family. Because, for some people, mother is mother, it's a different generation of person, and that person knows this much about the past, okay? But the future is something that belongs to them. So sometimes I had to fight the resistance from younger people. Luckily, my son was very, very supportive. My daughter in law, very supportive. And they said, go ahead. And even now, I think they're the first people who watch me on the digital space. And if I make a mistake, they're the first people who criticize me. And it's wonderful because the millennials are such a wonderful generation. And that was the first thing, acceptance. Whether an older person, now if I was doing cooking or sewing or painting, I'd be more accepted, right? But I'm talking about masturbation. I'm talking about sex. I'm talking about mysteries of life. So, oh my God, what is this woman doing? I'm actually debunking the stigma that people attach with a middle aged woman. So, this was a fear of acceptance, and I actually didn't bother me. But initially, people used to wonder why? Why? Why can't she just retire and enjoy herself? So I understand that I have to retry before I retire. That's one thing. Secondly, I was not savvy. I was not digital savvy. I had to learn. So I had to follow people, read books, actually make plans to improve myself and my knowledge. Right from making reels on the Insta to YouTube videos to light camera action, I invested in a camera. My brother helped me select a good camera. My production team helped me. And I actually didn't know this, but it's a beautiful stage. You can be the queen of the mic in any corner of the world once you have the power in your hands. All you need is a little common sense, a good subject, and the mic and the camera. And your mobile makes you the king, isn't it? So you rule the space.
Absolutely. Well, childhood days, Vinamma, where were you raised? Because what you are today is the environment which has made you, apart from what you have done to yourself, what you have made out of yourself. So tell me something about where Minamma was born and how was her childhood days, bachpan, or kaise shadi, bachche. Then now you have grandchildren. You don't look like though. But tell me, I want to know Minamma in her totality.
Okay. Meenamma was born to a wonderful set of parents. My parents, and I say it very often, and every time I say it, I joke because I'm so lucky, man. I'm so lucky. I was born to Arati and M.K. Murugesh. Arati was the Royal Bengal Tigress woman, and she married this Madrasi, as they would say in North. My father is still a very well-known cricketer, an Indian probable, and I did a story on him. Check him out, the story of MKM, the legendary cricketer. My father turned 90 recently, and I did his story. And being born to such wonderful parents, my mother was very academically qualified and a very ambitious woman. She was a firebrand, all Bengalis are. And she taught us that, you have to ignite every space you go to. So wherever it was, we come back hoping that mom is proud. Mom is proud to see that, we've done well. Not just for me, my brothers, three brothers also. It was very important for us to get recognized by mother because she was the queen of us, our home. That was in Chennai, and I was born there, brought up with lovely values. And as we grew, I told you I used to stammer. My mother got me to Mr. Amin Sayani, and she helped me cross that bridge. And today I thank her and Aminji for helping me become an anchor, a well known national anchor in our country. I've done a lot of international events. And three brothers, each, we are very close. Even today, my siblings and I, we are like unbreakable bonds. And playing cricket was because of my father. And it was not just cricket, it was sports. And once you get into sports, your whole body, your psyche, your soul changes. You become a team player. You learn the importance of being together. And playing for India was a great thing for the 1982 Asian Games. Thereafter, I used to do well in school because my mother's danda was always there to bash me if I didn't do well. So mom didn't care whether I was playing for India. She needed me to be in the first three ranks of my school. I got into medical school and I didn't take it because the handball camp was up at the same time. But I went to Stella for my BSc. I was the president of the union, had a wonderful cultural life, going to all the Mardi Gras, all the festivals and winning awards. Playing for India from Stella was a great option for me, and wonderful because it is a premier college. Then I met my husband when I was in the 10th standard, and my childhood friend became my sweetheart. And I always tell everybody I live in Gurukula because he was the teacher. He was the teacher to my brothers. He used to teach them like a tuition teacher for maths. He used to come over to help them with maths. So I live in Gurukula. And he is actually one person who helped me with content. So you see, today, my Guruji has to ratify whatever I might say, however confident I might sound. Anant Ram has to tell me this is good or not good. And his English is so impeccable. His command over subjects so good. He's an engineer and a management guru. So it all came together. And I had my Guruji. I have him still now, right now in the next room. And got married. I was very young, 21 when I got married. Lovely Brahmin house. Everybody said my marriage won't last because I was so boisterous and loud, and my husband's family was erudite and soft and dignified. But I enjoyed the journey. I became part of this beautiful family, and my mother-in-law became my best friend. She was almost 60 when I was 20, a generation ahead. But she was just a fourth standard class pass. But in her, I saw the most energetic and most educated person. She knew everything. She would read the Reader's Digest from top to toe. She would tell me stories about the intertidal region. My father-in-law was a very famous marine biologist. So, all these influences come to you. And then I had these two wonderful boys. And just at a time when, you're trying to find yourself, and then you realize the whole truth for a mother is in rocking her cradles. So I went into the university. I worked as a school teacher. Then I got a UGC grant. I went to the university, did my PhD, and my PhD was the shortest. Within 3 years, I did something with the Indo-Pacific waters. I worked with the Berkeley University, with Stanford, and coordinated with them for my thesis. And it was international work that I did. 25 international papers and a few patents. I worked on ichthyoparasitology. So all these things happened while I was also enjoying my mother-in-law's friendship, my husband's companionship, and these two little boys who were there, and I was rocking their cradle and rocking their life. So I only some regrets. I was the first woman to be selected on the Antarctic mission. I was the first Indian to be selected to the Monbusho scholarship. I couldn't take it because one day my son came and told me, "I forgot what you look like, Ma," and he was 5 years old. And I said, "No, this is not for me." The trajectory had to change. So from there, I mean, it's a long story, but in my TEDx talk, I've told my entire story. I went into events as an option to stay home and work out of home. So the Reader's Digest, in fact, covered me saying she's a business, well-run business by women from her home. So it was a small 8 by 8 room in which Razmata started its life with 5,000 rupees, which I borrowed from my mother-in-law. I started my company, and today we are worth much, much more. We have a team of 32 wonderful people who work with us, and our younger son Rahul leads the team like the hero, and he's done much better than me. Only thing is, somewhere down the line, we lost our older boy Rohit, and he was 21 when he died of cancer. And it was the most sad thing for parents. And I think, even this rubbed off on getting me to this place, because he would often tell me that, "Ma, you speak so well. You should become either a corporate guru or you should, talk about motivation." Rohit would often tell me, and he was a poet himself. He himself would write poetry and we would share. Whenever I get in front of the camera, I thank my son because he knew that his mother would not stop and make his dream come true. Today, my husband and I, my family, we run an NGO called Rohit Memorial Trust in his memory, and we are both medical clowns. We go as clowns to hospitals and do grief management. So, our content has grown. So, tomorrow, the digital world, I have so much to give you. Just come and be with me. Just meet me. Meet Meenamma very soon.
Tell me something about this medical clown because this is something I have never heard before. What do you do with that?
Medical clowns are very serious clowns. Actually, clowning can be very meaningful. When people talk about clowns, jokers, they think it's something to laugh about. It's a plaything. In
Yeah.
American and other countries, it's something evil. But medical clowns are team that support oncologists and terminally ill palliative centers, like hospices. People are dying. There are little kids dying of cancer, and we go to hospitals to give succor. We dance around with the children dressed as clowns. See, when we go as normal people, we are just uncle and auntie and some buddhas who have come to visit them. But when we go as clowns, we are very powerful. So, the minute you take these clothes off and get into the clown uniform, you become very powerful. The children say, wow, they receive you with open arms. And our idea is not just to go and perform or play with the children. We hold the hands of those sad parents who are not ready to lose their child. So we do grief management, palliative care. We help the families with insurance, which how to survive after the child has died because these children are dying. No one told us how to handle this grief, and so for us, palliative care is more important. And in clowning, we learn what not to say rather than what to say. So my husband is qualified from Stanford University for palliative care. I support him on the dramatics, knowing how dramatic I am. So we go with our beautiful noses and make all those monkey faces. But Jaya, actually, it's not that we are going and serving. We are actually serving our grief. We
Yeah.
are actually coming to terms with the fact that Rohit has moved on, and we have to take our grief aside and help others because we are a little more educated. And our son has helped us this way to handle our own grief, and it's nice. It's We have a tribe now. We have wonderful people who have joined us, who have joined our NGO and help us to serve. And we have some social workers who helped us. And there's so much content to give the world. There's so much to do.
I'm moved and shaken by listening to your stories, Minamma. Not the story that you have created yourself, losing a son at this age is not easy for anybody, especially for the mom. But now, wherever Rohit is, he's happy and proud about our very beloved Minamma. You're truly, truly inspiring, Minamma. I'm inspired by you and moved from inside. This aspect of your personality was not known to me. I just somehow came with the picture that medical clown, and I was very interested to know what you do, medical clown, because I also work with the special needs children. I
Wow.
create, cultural program for them for every year I go to Dubai. So I know some parents, those who have children in front of their eyes growing, but they're special in many ways. So um, Rohit must be very happy, I'm sure today also, and how beautifully you're keeping his memories alive and channelizing in such a way that हम लोग कहते हैं ना हम लोग कर्मा क्रिएट करते हैं तो माँ बाप के जो कर्म है soul who's very divine now.
Thank you, Jay.
um Minamma,
Yeah,
what
I
is
just have something to tell you here. My husband and I are co-author. We both became Amazon bestseller authors. I'm a
yeah
poet and he's a writer, and we are
yeah
actually writing a collaborative book. It's known as Can Survive. We both are telling people the clown story. We're
oh
looking for a
wow
publisher, and we will launch our book soon. This book is actually Rohit's story. It is, a child who's sitting in the audience and he sees these two clowns and he says, I've seen these people before. And he says, oh my God, these are my parents. Then you realize that he's not alive, but he's telling everybody what his parents do. And can survive, the title itself is about families that have cancer patients. Once your child has cancer, the whole family survives, means and undergoes the disease. Everybody suffers the disease. People think it's only one. No. And after the child dies, the whole family dies. I must tell you this. When we
Yes.
go to hospitals, we realize that many people, marriages break, people get heartbroken, they become depressed, people commit suicide, and there's so many things that happen. We have survived cancer. We can survive. So cancer doesn't have to kill you. It can only make you stronger and allow you to help others. So this is the story of our next co-authored book. So Anantram and I, both of us, are writing this book together. I'm so happy.
And how creatively you have named it. Can survive. Cancer, you use the CER, so beautiful. Meenamma, what should I talk to you? We are on live, and then I'm really overwhelmed and filled with so much of emotions after that. Tell me something. When are you going to write your autobiography?
I don't think that's going to happen because when you write your autobiography, it's a very selfish thing of leaving your story. I think we should leave our story in the works we do, in the stories we tell about others, in helping others. It's easy to write an autobiography. There are very big people like Mr. Tata and Birlas, people who've done great for the corporate world. They deserve to tell their story. But for simple people
One
like
second. One second. I don't want to tell you about that autobiography. I'm not asking what autobiography means your story, because your story is not your story. Your story is the story of the society, the people that you have met, from Amin Sayani to Ratan Tata ji's, or uh, whom did you make just now mention? Mozart of India, A.R.
Jaya,
Rahman. So, so
my
many
story
people
lives
have
in.
come in your lives. So you would like to tell your, because you have seen them from your perspective. You have a different experience, what people might not be knowing about. So writing an autobiography is not only writing your story, it
Yes.
the story which has made Meenamma, made you as a person, and so many people have contributed to become who you are today, like your husband, your children, and these people, the accomplished people. So this is what I'm because have you read the book autobiography of Bachchanji, Sri Harivansh Rai Bachchan?
His
It is one
father.
of the finest biographies written. And his biography talks about the era that he lived in, the entire society, and the
Wow.
people, those who come in life. And that is so inspiring. So, knowing you, I feel that your autobiography will enrich so many people. So, that's the reason. This is my personal request. Think about it.
Thank you. But Jaya, I have actually shared stories of great people whom I met in Inspiring Indians. There are some people whom I did not meet. For example, the tea boy, the MBA chaiwala, I didn't meet him, but I was so inspired by the fact that a young kid of 20 years today he's worth crores. So what are these kids doing? They're teaching us, our generation. The dabba wala, I'm so inspired. These are people that India might forget. Arunachalam ji, who the pad man, I know him personally, and we are the first team, from our NGO to put our hand out and reach him. So I've done this story. I mean, if people go and visit my episodes, it's actually a very autobiographical journey. It's wonderful people that you actually meet and you know that they're not fakes. They actually have a story. They have meaning. They're inspirational.
The short stories, bits and pieces, we are getting Meenamma. We want a Meenamma in her totality, complete Meenamma, her story. And I'm sure it's going to be one of the best sellers of the story, because the story of a woman, one, and the Shakti. And the story also tells about how you have survived through the tragedy of your life. One of the biggest things, biggest tragedies can happen to any woman. And then we have you bounced back to life and an inspiring life. That is something which is the most inspiring story of Meenamma. Tell me something which is your favorite story, Meenamma.
In all the stories that I did,
All the stories that you have done.
uh, you know, I did a story on the suicidal birds of Jatinga. And it was a new story. I never knew it. In fact, Uzwal Madhav, who was our director, he's an Assamese, and he said, Nassam, this happens. And it intrigued me. Thousands of birds were committing suicide every November in Assam in this small village called Jatinga. And it just took me by surprise that I didn't know it. I did intense research. I spoke to ornithologists and people of my generation who actually believed the truth, and it is actually a true story. So Jatinga, the dying birds of Jatinga, is my second episode in the Meenamma one series, and it's amazing, these kind of magnetic how the magnetism of the earth, it's a very scientific phenomenon, how it affects the trajectory of the flight, of the path of the birds, and the chemicals that are exuded on such nights. Why only November? Why only at after dusk? These are all questions that intrigue any scientist. So if you go to that Jatinga, the villagers think that the demons have come and they're possessing the village. So when the birds die, they hit them with sticks. And tourism department has used this to their advantage. They say, come and watch the falling birds of Jatinga. So tourism has increased in Assam because of this. So everybody has a stake. Everybody wants to get their part of the cake. But as a storyteller, my stake was to tell the story. And the scientist that I am, I give the scientific facts of what could probably be the reasons why this happened. I loved writing that story. It took me a little more time. And I also liked writing the story of the Padmanabha Swami temple. And it's so intriguing,
Yeah.
India is such a rich country. And the temple had so much of gold, diamonds, and, heirloom of so many kings. The southern kings were so rich. And the temple, even now, there is a door that cannot be opened. And like in films, they say that Naga, the snake, is going to come and bite you. It's true. People who tried to open that door were found dead with the venom of snakes. So Padmanabha Swami temple in Kerala, it's amazing. And Lepakshis, there is a pillar in the Lepakshi temple which is hanging. These are all architectural marvels. So my
Yeah.
daughter-in-law, who's an architect, she and I talk about this all the time. How is this possible? The pillar doesn't even touch the ground. There's an entire temple built on these pillars. And the paper can go under the pillar. It's paper thin space. This is a marvel of nature. India has so much to offer. If people like you and I don't talk about it, then, we're not being true Bharatvasis.
Absolutely. So you can do a complete series on the temples.
Yes. But,
So
I'm also
have you
a lot
planned that way?
of, I beg your pardon?
Have you planned to do the series on the temples? Because
Yes, yes.
there's
I
so
will,
much,
I will surely,
so much to
I want
write
to do
about.
something on religion in a different way, and some unspoken of topics. I have actually talked about one night stands, live-ins, masturbation. Is it good? Is it bad? I have extolled this wonderful woman called Seema Anand, whom I really admire. She's a storyteller. She's maybe a little older than us, but she is wonderful in the way she talks about Kama Sutra. And people would look at her and wonder, what is this auntie talking about? But she's amazing. And she's not just talking about this, she's qualified. She's a doctorate in Kama Sutra. She is a tantric expert. So I've actually spoken about these people. Another favorite is Dhruv Rathi. Today he earns $5 million every year, US dollars, on YouTube. I'm so proud of this boy. He might not be the top earner. The top earner on digital space is Tech Guruji Chaudhary. I mean, amazing person himself. But Dhruv and Ranveer Alhabadia, these are my favorites on this space. You must check them out. The TRS, the Ranveer show. He's a young boy. He's like the boy next door. He's like your son. And the way he talks, he's simply mind blowing. He's so simple, so cool. And of late, he's become spiritual. He has no fake. It's just him. So these kids teach us that we can also be like them. So I think there's lots to be learned here. A lot of topics waiting for us. But temples, yes, mysteries will always be my number one topic. The mysteries of the world, and temples interesting.
Right. So now, what is the next story that you have lined up for your next show?
Uh, Actually, I want to promote India as a destination. You know, all
Okay.
of us go around the world and we extol every other country. Every country has its good points, but India per se has so much to offer in tourism, in the kind of environment we have. So there are many mysteries, of. Did you know the world's highest post office is in India? And you have a village in India that's a floating village. Now, these things might not come to the fore. You might only think India is about, samosas and biryani and people and Hindutva. No, India has a lot to offer. So I want to give my country a lot of space in the digital platform. We also want to talk about many other things. I'm very fond of music. So Bollywood music, right from R.D. Burman to Hemant Kumar to Lataji to Mohammed Rafi, they are fascinating. I love them. And I would love to talk about unknown stories about the great musicians, not just Indian, but also of the world. So if I have space and time, I think I would be meandering into that kind of space, films, and these are things that intrigue me. I love watching a film. I love listening to music, and I treat John Lobo and Hemant Kumar in the same breath. So I'm sure that sometime I will talk about them, and I will also talk about people around me who have touched me very deeply, and I've never spoken much about it. But my brother Keshav, my brother immediately after me, has been such an inspiration for me. He's younger than me, but he's somebody who I would like to emulate in his humility, in the way he gives, the way he presents himself. He actually hosts some shows for NASCOM with where he's interviewed great cricketers and being a cricketer's son. It comes easy to him. But he's the CEO of a big company. But the way I mean, these are people who inspire me. I would like to be Keshav one day.
Wow. आई थिंक व्हेन जब हम कहते हैं ना कि प्रकृति आपसे कुछ करवाना चाहती है, तो वो आपके पूरे एनवायरनमेंट को तैयार करती है। चाहे वो फैमिली हो, चाहे फ्रेंड्स हो, चाहे जिन लोगों के टच में आप आते हैं। तो आई थिंक यू आर ब्लेस्ड to have such accomplished people and such people, those who have inspired the world, and you are one of them. Amazing, Meenamma. Do you sing also? You look like a singer.
I'm
You
a,
look
I'm
like
a
a dancer and a singer to me.
certified bathroom singer, Jaya. Certified. I love Gulzar ji and I just love to murder the songs, but I cry when I listen to his poetry.
Guldar Saab's poetry.
Yes, Gulzar ji. I think he's amazing.
क्या बात है. So Meenamma, how good Meenamma is in Hindi.
My second language was Hindi in school and माँ बहुत बात करती थी हिंदी में घर में एक्चुअली हफ्ते में एक दिन हिंदी दिन था हिंदी दिवस तो हम हिंदी में वार्तालाप किया करते थे और मार भी बहुत खाते थे उन दिनों बट मुझे लगता है कि मैं ठीक ही बात कर लेती हूँ वैसे तो मैं बहुत स्कॉलरली नहीं हूँ हिंदी में बट मैनेज कर लेती हूँ और कभी कभी स्टेज पे बात करना ही मांगता है तो मैं बात करती हूँ और अच्छा लगता है मातृभाषा मीन टू टॉक अबाउट द कंट्रीज लैंग्वेज अच्छा लगता है आई एम
अरे
प्राउड
वाह.
आई एम अ प्राउड इंडियन
Yeah, you look like and you represent a true Indian woman, a powerful Indian woman, the Shakti that we call. कोई एक अच्छी इंटरेस्टिंग सी स्टोरी सुनाओ ना मिनमा. Anything.
सी बहुत सारी स्टोरीज हैं एंड आई डोंट नो हाउ मच टाइम देयर वुड बी but a story that really I love is a story that I wrote in my dreams. I've written a lot of short stories, and my book Selavi did pretty well. It was the first book I wrote. Selavi is a book of short stories, and two of my stories were taken for films. One for a short film and one for a Telugu film. And I have actually written a story. It's called Platform Number Six, and it's about a deserted railway station in a hilly area. And उस कहानी में तो एक लड़का लड़की हैं और वो स्टेशन पे आते हैं दोनों के मन का विचार two types of people. She is unhappy because her father is trying to get her married to somebody she doesn't know, and he's unhappy because he's not successful, and his father thinks very poorly about him, that he's not getting the job that he wants him to work for. They both are from the same village. They come to the platform. Both of them want to commit suicide. Now, both of them want to take their lives because their parents have troubled them so much. And the whole station is absolutely deserted. And there is only a station master, an old man who's buying the last few months of his time before he retires, and his dog, who's, absolutely frustrated because this old man has no time for him. And the dog in my story talks. So the dog is telling this old man, Buddha, look at these two happy people, how good looking they are, look at your face. And he's teasing that man. That man says, Hey, dog, hey, Kutta, what happens? Why are these people here? Do you think they are lovers running away? Because they don't know. So they start creating stories because they have nothing else to do. So they start creating a story that this boy and this girl are in love and they want to run away from their house and they're waiting for the 12 o'clock passenger train. There's only one train that passes through that station and stops. And the dog says, Yeah, yeah. And the dog is building up, saying, Yeah, look at her. She's looking at him. They both are in different sides of the platform. And the boy is looking at the girl and saying, What a beautiful girl this is. I wish I could just fall in love with a girl like this and run away from my father. And the girl is looking at the boy and saying, What a handsome man. I wonder what he's doing in this silly village. And actually each one is thinking about the other. And they're thinking about the old man, the dog, and everybody's trying to dissect their thoughts. And then what happens is this the woman the as they are talking in the story, suddenly this girl tries to cross over and she has a bag. So the young boy offers to pick the bag for her, and they start talking. Then the man, the station master says, see, मैंने बताया ये सब तमाशा हमारे लिए है. This eye wash is for us. Actually, these two are pretending they don't know each other. देखते रहना, these guys are going to now kiss. They're going to hold hands. They're going to hug each other. But कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, तो कुत्ता भी वेट कर रहा है कि ये सीन कब कब शुरू होगा. And the story goes on, and suddenly, his announcement is made that the 12 o'clock passenger is coming. And the boy and the girl, they say, okay, they discuss with each other. And then the girl says, see, this is my thing. He says, okay, at least we both have company. Let's jump together. Now, let's both die together. At least this way, when we go to heaven or hell, we'll be together. And then the next thing is that, the train comes and then the train leaves. And these two fellows, the postmaster and the police, I mean, the man in the station and the dog, have felt that they've got into the train and run away. They say, see, they must be running away. So they go and check in all the compartments. The train is going slowly. And then the scene ends with, the boy and girl are holding hands and walking on the other side. They both are holding hands and walking together. It just says that, opportunities like this, they fall in love with each other in those few moments. They actually fall in love. And that is the platform of life. Sometimes we give up. We want to take our lives for no reason. And, when we meet the right purpose, the right people, and people like us who are also doing the same silly thing, we realize it's not worth it. So,
My God.
and
Where do you
that's,
get these plots from? Such amazing stories.
but yeah, my dog was the ultimate. My dog's
This,
dialogues
this
are
is, I know this story came in the dream. This one?
a thought of it came and then I created. I think I was sitting with the dog whom I loved, and that I wanted the dog to talk. And then I thought if this dog talked and he was like this, and then the characters came in. So there are
Oh,
stories like this I write. And I think I've done a good job in writing short stories.
okay. I think Ujjwal is having something to saying something. Ujjwal needs something. 1 second.
I would like to thank all those who took the time to be here, Jaya. There are some people here, and it's wonderful. I know that you are here because you care, and it's very
I'm
important.
here because I'm inspired by you. And I truly, truly love you. And I'm feeling so privileged to know you, Meenamma. I just would like to know how you plan your day. It's so difficult to organize and channel your own energies when you are having so much to do. You have a family, you have a work, and completely a full-time work that you have. So how do you spare your time for yourself?
Actually, I'm a drifter, Jaya. I believe that I will drift and then God will take me to the course that I have to do. There are things that you have to do compulsorily, but I know that I want to be a solo traveler in my life. And I met so many beautiful people. They've held my hand, they're part of my system. But each one of us is a solo traveler. And my husband and I are very, very spiritual in that way. We are attached and detached. And we learned this in a very early stage of our relationship. And I respect that because it teaches you that you are the soul traveler. You have to travel your journey. So every day is like that. I get up and I know for sure that I would like to see my 8-month grandchild. That is a priority now. And my favorite dog, Mr. Button Iyer, who lives with my son. And, everything else is secondary. And it's lovely because, my son has taken over the business. I don't have to run and do work like I did before. I just have to stand next to him and know that, he's riding well. And it's nice because, you have enough time for yourself. But being a digital content writer, it's very difficult. Every day I have to think of a topic. It's very challenging and it's beautiful because your story doesn't end with one episode. You have to write, you have to churn out so much of content every day. You have to dream about what's the next series. Are you relevant? Are people watching you? How much traction? How much retention? Where have the people come and gone? How do you improve yourself? And being a woman, I would like to talk about my sari, my I can't change that. I am the woman that I am. So, I have to talk about that. So, all these plans, what would you wear? How would you look? Who would you meet? And is the story worth telling? Talking to your producer, your director, this takes a large chunk of my life. Talking with my husband, and he's telling me every day that, this is a good one. That is a good one. It's lovely. Digital content creators, you have the world of information and you have to just take it and give it out correctly.
How you reach out to your audience? I mean,
So right
what
now
is
it's
the
been
plan?
we are very organic. We have not bought space or advertised ourselves. We're doing it very organically, and I'm very happy because this way at least when people come to actually watch you or listen to you or come back to you again, they come back to you for a reason that they like you. So first your circle of influence, I have informed everybody, and thank God people came to see what is she doing now, what's this new thing that the great Meenamma is up to. So that was one thing, but organically I've been able to grow, but I need more space, I need more viewers, I need more subscribers. And I think now we should tell people I have enough of content. I have 120 videos up in the last 1 year. We celebrated 1 year on the 26th, the 23rd of December.
Wow, that's quite a
Yeah, Meenammas
number.
was born 1 year ago. So you see, I'm only 1 year old. I'm young. So, I will never grow old because I'm so young.
Wonderful, and remain young. That is my prayer. And you will remain. You don't deserve to be old. Don't deserve to be old. It's just okay. Yeah. Nama, I mean, Nama, what is 2024 has? What is your promise
2024,
to 2024?
uh, see,
It's just beginning.
personally, I would like to do more of some things that I put under the carpet. And writing the book that my husband and I have started. Every time we go to a page, we stop. It's painful, but I think it's time for us to actually get it together and launch it. And in fact, the Kala Goda, we were supposed to launch it, and we didn't have the time or we didn't have the emotion. But now we will do it. We're looking. I think that should be our priority, and it will also be a priority for us to be able to impact. My husband is an excellent speaker himself, and I've also told him that this is the space. He's a teacher. He's a soft skill teacher. His communication skills to die for. Even now, people come to him. He's a relationship expert. His book is all about relationships. So I think we have a lot to do, both of us together. And as you grow older, your husband is your best friend, and it's lovely because your relationship has changed totally. So you don't have any worries about looking after families. You just have to go and be there, but most of the time it's about you. So life starts. 2024 is the beginning of a beautiful life.
Wow, wonderful. And knowing you is a beautiful journey through this, whatever. But I think I'll ask Uzwal to have, a series on you. I would love to talk to you live or not live, but this is my personal, you know, I'm feeling very enriched today with your
Yeah, I would like
experiences,
to thank,
knowing
I would really like to thank the Blue Tick team. I must tell you, Ujwal, Madhav, and Sharma have done such a fabulous job of, helping this lady, this lady who didn't know anything about the digital space. It inspired me every
you.
time. These younger boys are wonderful. I think the millennials and the younger kids are absolutely our guides. We should just do away with our ego and jump into the bandwagon of listening to the youngsters. We will make it.
तो आज मिनम्मा के बारे में थोड़ा सा जानना इज जस्ट अ टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग। बहुत गहरी है मिनम्मा, और मिनम्मा से मिलना है और दूसरे एपिसोड्स में भी आकर। और उज्जवल, आई थैंक यू पर्सनली टू कनेक्ट मी टू मिनम्मा। एंड अब इसके बाद बहुत सी बातें मिनम्मा से करनी बाकी है। मुझे तो समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है कहाँ से शुरू करूं। यदि स्टोरी टेलर मिनम्मा को लूं तो फिर वो तो बहुत ही बड़ा 120 एपिसोड्स ऑलरेडी बन गए हैं, और पता नहीं कितने लाइफ प्लान्स और नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए बना लिए हैं। नेक्स्ट टाइम आई वुड लाइक टू मीट मिस्टर मिनम्मा अनंतराम जी, कि कैसे एक स्त्री को घर पे इतने सम्मान से और इतनी श्रद्धा से, इतने सहयोग से बनाया जाता है। मिनम्मा, you are a product of the sum total of whatever that you have in your family and the people around you. And बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं आपको और मुझे भी, ताकि मैं आपसे ऐसे ही जुड़ी रहूं। बहुत बहुत
Uh,
धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much. Hi, hello everyone. There are a few questions which the people who are listening to you, both of you live right now, they have a few questions. So, can I put these questions to both of you right now, and so that you can answer them?
Yes, yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes. First question is that there are only 24 hours in a day. So many things you were doing together at the same time. How do you manage your time, Minamma? That's the first question. Coming from an gentleman, his name is Mr. Naveen, and he's asking you this question.
Mr. Naveen, life is like a song. The words just come to you. And the music director might have taken a few years to create that tune, but when it reaches you, it's so easy. So for me too, every day is like that. Every moment is strung by some unknown force. And I do plan a few things like having fun with friends, singing. I do, conspire for things that I like to do. But the rest of it just falls in like a jigsaw puzzle for me. And I guess you have to be like me, absolutely reckless. Otherwise, you're lost in life, isn't it? Thank you for asking me this question, and cheers to you.
Okay. Thank you. The next question is from a lady from I think she's from Kashmir. Yes. Okay. Someone is listening to you right now live from Kashmir, and she's asking that in future, uh, would you be considering coming live regularly and talking with your audience in a regular format, because this is the first time you are coming live in 1 year. This is the first live. In future, do you have any plans for coming regularly live and talking with your audience?
Thank you so much for asking me. You've actually taken the words out of my mouth. I've been talking to my team that we should do candid conversations more. So actually, we are trying to shortlist people who have impacted. And I did one with my father, and I think we've got a lot of traction. So I think I'm better in that version where I will talk and interview people. I would love to do it and learn more about it. So Candid the Corner, as you see this title, will come then very soon. Very, very inspirational Indians will be interviewed. And you can tell me if anybody is inspirational enough. I will reach you. We will talk to them.
Thank you. The third question is from a very special person off from in your life, is Mr. Anant Ramji. And he's asked you a question that is Minamma one of the legacies that you want to leave behind? Or what is your legacy that you wanted to leave behind? Is Minamma one of them?
And when you married that 20-year-old girl, she was so reckless. She just thought life was, in marrying and settling down. and that was the world that she will live in forever and ever and be happy. It's only that, people like you, good men like you, teach Meenamma type of women that, life is beautiful and there is so much you can do even after you marry. And thank you for letting me know that, the life is not in a box, but in opening the box. Your house has been my cradle of creativity. And yes, Meenamma will live, and I want to leave this legacy not just for my children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren, but for all those who believe in the Indian woman. I think Meenamma should be the legacy. It should be what
One
I would
thing,
leave.
I think Meenamma herself is the legacy.
Thank you so much, Yar.
Okay, we have some amazing people today who have joined. Thank you very much, everyone. And also, um, uh, many of the audience who are right now watching you, they are wishing you a very happy new year, and wishing you and your family and your content creation journey a very happy new year to both of you, Jayaji and Meenakshi ji. Both of you
Thank
have
you.
been wished by many people, and they wanted to see you more. They liked the session today, and Vidya and Ravindra. Ravindra has said that I am very happy to be a part of the medical clown team also, and they are all wishing you, and they wanted to see more of you coming live this way. Do you have anything to say to them? Everyone who is asking these questions and wishing you happy new year to both of you.
I would like one day to talk to Jaya Sarkar. She's been so humble and just talking to me today. But people, we have here a very, very, very intense poet. And Jaya's poetry has touched many hearts. And जिन जिनको कविता के जो शौक रखते हैं ना हम, we have to talk to Jaya. And I'm sure that, all of you, thank you for listening to me. I'm always there for you. I'm yours for life. But I would love to talk to people like Jaya because, in just asking and being so humble, she's shown what kind of person she is.
Meenamma,
Okay, please.
एक
Okay.
छोटी सी बात कि न जाने कैसा इश्क हुआ है तुमसे, न जाने कैसा इश्क हुआ है तुमसे कि जिस शय से मिलती हूँ मुझे मोहब्बत हो जाती है।
क्या
जिस
बात
शय से
जया.
मिलती हूँ मुझे मोहब्बत हो जाती है। तो वो जो इश्क की जो किसके किससे इश्क होता जाता है हमको जीवन में ना, उसमें से एक इश्क तो मिनम्मा से आज हो गया।
I'm so honored, yeah. क्या बात,
Thank
क्या
you so much. Thank you, the
Okay.
entire team who has put us on online, for the viewers, for the audience, and thank you, audience, for listening to us. And two women, when we are talking, there's no end. And मुझे तो लग रहा है अभी तो मैंने शुरुआत ही नहीं की है। तो अगले एपिसोड में फिर से आपसे मुलाकात होगी, होपफुली, यदि उज्जवल ने हमें मिला दिया तो।
Definitely, we'll be very happy to do that. And because both of you are poet, and I will just go back to the back seat again right now. Now that so that you can close the session for today. And once before closing, that's a request from my side, from the internal backend team, that both of you can share one of your poetries. Each one of you share one of your poetries, and then you can take forward and close today's session. So that's we wish to hear from both of you as poets, as emotional people, as poets.
Jaya writes in a very powerful language, Hindi. Hindi is a mother language, and there are some words in Hindi that resonate with the soul. So, Jayaji, let's listen to you first. I'm sure that, it will be my honor to have this moment.
थैंक यू सो मच। एक कविता है जो नए साल के लिए लिखी है। मिनम्मा, ये हम सभी औरतों के लिए ये समर्पित है एक्चुअली। नई उम्मीदों के साथ नए साल का इंतजार है। डूज और डोंट्स की पुरानी लिस्ट रिन्यू होकर फिर से तैयार है। छरहराने का फितुर इस बार भी बरकरार है। अपनी मैडम गूगल के पास तो हर समस्या का उपचार होने के आसान तरीके टाइप किया नहीं कि दुनिया भर के वेट लॉस एक्सपर्ट्स धड़धड़ा के सामने आ जाते हैं। बिफोर आफ्टर के फोटो दिखाकर सोई उम्मीदों को जगाते हैं। फिर वेट मैनेजमेंट के नाम पे फैंसी कोर्स में एनरोल करवाते हैं। किसी बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटी में दाखिला मिल गया ऐसा फील करवाते हैं। पहले तो अपने फैमिली डॉक्टर मल्टीपर्पस हुआ करते थे। बहुत से रोगों के इलाज वो अकेले ही किया करते थे। मगर आजकल खाना कब, क्या, कितना, कैसे, कहाँ खाएं, इस इन सब का अलग-अलग विभाग है। सारे स्पेशलिस्ट के अलग फंडे हैं, अलग राग है। भाई अपना तो फिगर ऐसा है जैसे ज़ीरो के ऊपर एक और ज़ीरो रखा है। लेकिन इन विद्वानों ने पतली चमड़ी ओढ़े कंकाल को ग्लैमराइज कर दिया है। वेट मैनेजमेंट के नाम पे भूखमरी को कॉर्पोरेटाइज कर दिया है। इन्हीं की वजह से गाय बकरी वाले खाने हम खा रहे हैं और हमारे स्वादिष्ट भोजन कुत्ते बिल्ली उड़ा रहे हैं। और जिस नासपीटे ने आटे में ग्लूटेन को ढूंढा है ना, बाय गॉड, पूरी पराठे थेपलों की बददुआ उसे सताएगी। मुझे यकीन है कि किसी दिन खाने पीने के शौकीन शोधकर्ताओं की ऐसी टीम आएगी जो अपने 56 भोग को दुनिया का पौष्टिक आहार बताएगी। फिर हम अपना भोजन अपराध भाव से नहीं, चटखारे लेकर चाव से खाएंगे। उधर योग को देखिए, बेचारा सीधा साधा हुआ करता था, फॉरेन रिटर्न होकर बौरा गया है। पावर योगा, एक्रो योगा, एक्वा योगा, एंटी ग्रेविटी योगा, ये बनकर तो वो खुद ही सकपका गया है। इस चक्कर में कच्छे, बनियान, पजामे, जूते, चटाई सब डिजाइनर हो गए हैं। कब, कहाँ, कैसे इसका इस्तेमाल करें, इसके भी एडवाइजर हो गए हैं। सारे उपाय बस थोड़े दिन ही चलते हैं। हम हिंदुस्तानी फितरत से चटोरे होते हैं, डाइट में नहीं, डट के खाने में और खिलाने में विश्वास रखते हैं। मेरी नजर में एक फुल प्रूफ सदाबहार नुस्खा है जो हमारे बुजुर्गों ने बता रखा है। सैर सुबह शाम करें, आसन प्राणायाम करें, दोस्तों से और पॉजिटिव लोगों से मिलते रहें, दिल खोल के हंसते रहें। मस्त रहेंगे तो स्वस्थ रहेंगे,
वाह,
मस्त रहेंगे तो स्वस्थ रहेंगे।
क्या बात! ये तो सही है यार। ये तो डिजिटल एज का ही बात है। It's all about what we learn on the digital space. Amazing, Jaya. Amazing. It's so contemporary. It is so beautiful.
बिल्कुल सादी सिंपल सी नए साल की विश करने के लिए एक कविता लिखी थी और ये हम ही लोगों के लिए लिखी गई है।
It's very true, yeah. It's a very hypocritical world that you talked about, but we hai hamara what we are looking at the world. But wish you all the best.
थैंक यू।
God bless.
मैंने आप
I have a
सुनाइए।
very small poem which I would like to read. This is my book, Mariposa. It's a bestseller on Amazon. I'm so
वाओ।
grateful. And I wrote. I actually I have I've also promoted the fact that many men, young girls and young men and women get molested, and I was also one of the victims of being molested at a very young age. And the kind of black mark that it leaves in your soul and heart, it's very painful. So I had a rape victim actually draw a few things to me, and I had some quotes done, and I would just read a few quotes that I had done. And this poem it's not a poem, it's called My Naked Poem. It says, my blank verse suddenly decided to strip. My blank verse suddenly decided to strip, and in her nakedness, I could see the words caressing her hurt fully. My blank verse suddenly decided to strip, and in her nakedness, I could see the words caressing her hurt fully. She could feel the bruises of the hard nib of the pen, while the blank ink covered her in protection.
माय
It
गॉड।
ends with saying, hold me, hold my heart, not my legs. It is there I feel you the most. Hold my heart, not my legs. It is there I feel you the most. My blank
माय
poem.
गॉड, सो प्रोफाउंड, ब्यूटीफुल,
Thank you. It's a very small verse, but my heart
वेरी
cries for all
प्रोफाउंड।
those little children who have been molested. And remember, life is not easy for even the one who does such a bad thing to you. God bless you all.
थैंक यू मीनम्मा, थैंक यू सो मच। सो हियर we are waiting for the another session now, definitely, for sure, Meenamma.
I think now all things end, and so also will this wonderful time with
This
you.
beautiful session that we had, yes,
But
so
for
much
all
to
those
bring
who
out
are
from you.
but
So
all
much,
those who are
so
actually
much to bring
listening
out
to
today.
us, Jaya,
Yeah,
you and
thank
I
you.
are like the Nirma girls, Rekha, Jaya, Nirma, Meena. So we are like them. Sabka na dho lete hain, because you and I have ideas that actually wash and clean society. It's our a prerogative to make a
Yeah,
difference. And Jaya, I'm so proud that
absolutely.
you and I are together today.
Thank you, Meenamma. Thank you as well.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, everyone, and we had a great time. And looking forward to see all of you once again coming live at Meet Meenamma. Till then, we end the session for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Jai
you.
Hind.
Jai Hind.